तो ये बताइए 2 मिनट में अपने बारे में, आप क्या हैं, क्या कर रही हैं, क्या चीज में पढ़ा है आपने और क्यों पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन में आप सामने हैं?
I am AKANSHA Gupta. I have pursued my BA Honours in History from University of Delhi, and currently I have been preparing for civil services and had got an interview call from BPSC as well. The mantras of my life is passion, persistence and philosophy.
And why do you want to join civil services?
In order to join civil services, subconsciously I had a natural inclination towards it. Consciously, I personally feel that in order to serve the society, policy intervention is the main source. And therefore, apart from it, the job promotion as well as the job security attached to the nature of the service is one of, practically speaking, reasons to join the service.
This is your first attempt or?
Yes, sir.
And you also cleared the UPSC exam?
No, sir.
तो ये बताइए कि you have passed out in 2019.
Yes, sir.
उसके बाद फिर आप अभी तैयारी कर रही हैं?
Sir, I had pursued my masters from history, University of Delhi Hindu College, from 2020 to 2022, and since then, yes, I'm preparing.
You completed 20?
Yes, I've completed it.
तैयारी.
Yes, sir.
Your hobbies are gardening and you got a scholarship also. Good, very nice. ये बताएं कि बिहार की इकोनॉमी में कौन से सेक्टर ग्रो कर रहा है?
One of the most largest growing sector, as we can see, is the service sector, which has the largest contribution in the economy of more than 50%. However, one of the food processing sector is attracting the largest FDI. So this shows that this sector also has a huge potential and the market for this is growing along with ethanol blending.
FDI कौन से? FDI in food processing, ये कौन से sector में आएगा?
Food processing sector would be in the manufacturing sector. Yes, sir.
जिसमें अभी growth नहीं हो रही है?
No, sir. It is one of the most lagged behind sector with the growth of around 3%.
अच्छा.
Yes, sir.
ये बताएं कि अगर बिहार में कुछ इन्वेस्टमेंट करना है तो फूड प्रोसेसिंग के एग्जांपल दिया, और कौन से ऐसे सेक्टर हैं?
Ethanol blending sector is again one of the promising sector.
Ethanol blending with what?
Ethanol production of ethanol sector, petrol with blending. Given that India has signed India has used the G20 platform for a national biofuel alliances, as well as India's commitment in Panchamrit commitment, ethanol is one of the promising sectors.
G20 more क्या decision हुआ है?
G20 was a diplomatic victory for India, as India was able to sign Delhi Declaration and bring about the consensus in the divided house. Apart from it, the new member African Union, 55 nation African Union was admitted. Along with it, the India, Middle East, Europe corridor was one of the another landmark success, along with signing of a platform National Biofuel Alliances.
ये अभी विमेन रिजर्वेशन बिल जो है वो एक्ट बन गया है.
Yes, sir.
अब उसके रूल्स बन रहे हैं, रिजर्वेशन होंगे विमेन में. Is it a good thing for women empowerment या bad thing? It is a welcoming step and ambitious step from the government side. Definitely, women have been underrepresented with mere 14% in the Lok Sabha, and the representation is much less of 9% in the state legislative. Definitely, it's a welcoming step that would allow women to transcend their household boundaries and take part in political activities, informed decision making, as well as creating a mass awareness in the society. So being a woman, can you give me one or two examples of issues, women related issues जो कि अभी पब्लिक में नहीं आया है, आना चाहिए या पॉलिसी बननी चाहिए?
It might sound, but it might not sound so genuine, but yes, it is the invisible which should be made visible. For example, in case of Bihar, it is a flood prone area.
However, when the relief packets are distributed, menstrual pads must also be distributed in the relief packet along with the tent camp and food grains, because period poverty is one of the poverty which is disproportionately affecting a large section of the population of the country.
So should there be an act on this? There should be a policy on this? What should happen?
It should be the disaster management and the Disaster Management Act. It should be included in the principle or rules of what should the items must be included in the distribution package.
Why do you want to come to administration while you can contribute more on these issues, becoming an activist?
Sir, policy intervention is one of the largest thing, plays a significant role in bringing about the changes at the ground level. It is, for example, the biggest thing is banning of liquor. The liquor can be banned by an activist by spreading social awareness as well. However, it was the excise duty that had actually made it happen in the state.
That duty made what happened?
The banning of liquor. It was the policy intervention which actually made it happen.
But excise duty was lost because of that?
But it was economically poor but socially good policy.
But there was a loss of excise revenue because of that, no?
However, when taken into a holistic development, if we have a strong, healthy workforce, a good, healthy, with less number of domestic violence, definitely it would be made up and contributed, become with a better work environment, home environment, and the state would become prosperous and literally a blissful Bihar.
Would you recommend prohibition for all over country?
No, sir.
Why? If it is good for Bihar, why not good for Maharashtra?
Because literacy is one of the most significant factor which should be should be highlighted over here. Lack of awareness and literacy is two major factors that because people over here are not so much aware and have been accustomed. Legislation can be a temporary measure, but behavioral changes is the important solution. Because once the legislation is taken off, people might have all the possibilities to fall back.
Sir,
but the question is still not answered. It is good for Bihar and you have absorbed the loss in revenue. So if you expand it to all over India, there will be a loss in revenue.
Yes, sir.
Is it a social good for the country or not?
No, sir, it wouldn't be, because social drinking, again, people are aware and responsible.
How do you say that social drinking was not there in Bihar?
It was there, but the component of non-social drinking and attachment of non-social activities were more and overpowering the social drinking.
Okay. Now, suppose you were to improve the status of Bihar.
Yes, sir.
Give me 3 key interventions that you would do as a woman.
As a woman. Women empowerment with respect to as a woman in particular was to provide employment to the women. We have seen feminization of labor force. However, unless the title deeds are given to women, they are not actually empowered. They are just mere...
What employment you're talking about title deeds? I want 3.
Women empowerment.
Empowerment through what?
Empowerment through employment opportunities such as promotion of handicrafts and the folk handicrafts such as Mithila painting, etc. Secondly, would be empowerment in integrating with technology and making work from home a general norm and more convenient, so that women can balance out both work and home with respect to.
Why women should perform both the work from home and household chores?
It's not only women. The men should also perform it.
But they should also be
Yes, definitely. If work from home is available, definitely the offices are moving towards hybrid mode. 4 days in office and 3 days from work from home.
And third intervention?
And the third intervention is for the empowerment of women is empowering groups such as self-help groups, Jivika, and promoting and implementing in more full-fledged form.
Why do we always give suggestions of traditional crafts, work from home? Why not more, energetic things like becoming a administrative service officer, a police officer, an engineer, or a chief minister, or things like that. Why do you give suggestions on, traditional areas?
Bihar is an agricultural state with a lot of illiteracy. And definitely, a stepping stone towards there would be definitely work from home
So
and
is an
handicraft.
incremental step better than a quantum jump? Incrementally, it may take 50 years.
But given the technology and the globalization, I don't think it would take 50 years. We have seen the colloquial traditions becoming global. For example, in recent G20 summit also, our paintings have been depicted. And why is it we are considering the traditional things as not so modern things, even though that is also...
Modern. It's a question of efficiency and productivity. If you say, suppose come out with a bill, all deputy SPs would be females. Is that a quantum jump?
No, sir, that the seats are open and the government has provided 35% of reservation with respect to various posts, and women are moving forward.
Do you think 35% reservation is sufficient?
Yes, sir, 35% reservation is sufficient because it isn't that in the rest of the 65% women can't contend. Even for the rest of the 65% of the seats, women are eligible to contend. And if they qualify the threshold, they can also get into those 65%.
You are from Nova Mundi.
Yes, sir.
Why Nova Mundi is famous?
Now, Mundi is famous for its iron mines.
Anything else?
It is.
What kind of terrain is it located?
It is located in a hilly terrain. Mundi Kiruburu area is a
Which range of mountain?
Chota Nagpur range of mountains.
Chota Nagpur range is a part of which mountain?
Dharwar group of rocks of Archean era.
Sociologically, what is the composition of Nova Mundi or Paschim Singhbhum population-wise?
Yes, sir. West Singhbhum is the second largest populated district of Jharkhand post East Singhbhum, and sociologically the tribal population dominate the area of Simdega of the area. Singhbhum. The tribal populations have been dominated and have been involved in agricultural activities mostly.
You did your graduation in history.
Yes, sir.
From which college?
Shahid Bhagat Singh College.
Shahid Bhagat.
University.
A post-graduation
In history.
History.
Medieval.
From medieval?
Yes, sir.
What is the period of medieval?
Early medieval begins from 700 BCE while it ends around 1300 to 1400 AD.
Why it ends 1300 or 1400? What are the periods of history in which we divide ancient, modern, and...
The traditional periodization of history begins from the Harappan civilization era to the 700 as ancient India till the Harshvardhana era, and after the Harshvardhan, modern India, medieval India kicks in from 7000 to 1200.
What is the difference between ancient and medieval?
Ancient.
Late ancient, early medieval.
Late ancient has been seen as the falling of the main centralized kingdoms or powerful kings, and then in the early medieval we can see the springing up of large number of regional kingdoms, and therefore there was a shift in a political nature from centralization to decentralization in the era of regional kingdoms.
When did the Rajputs come into existence? Rajput kings?
Seventh, Rajputs started tracing their genealogy from various sources of nature such as Chandra, sun and fire around 700 AD.
Muslim rulers came to India.
Yes.
What are the contributions of Muslim rulers in India?
The contributions of the Muslim rulers can be seen on our culture with respect to Indo-Islamic architectures,
What
as
are the features of Indo-Islamic architecture?
uses of arc and dome instead of pillars, arabesque, petra dura are some of the features of the Indo-Islamic architecture.
Where do we find calligraphy?
Calligraphy can be seen in the monumental features. It's evident, very much evident in Taj Mahal as well. It is quoting up of the religious scriptures from Quran, Kalma on the walls.
What is special about Humayun tomb?
One of the special features of the Humayun tomb is it was one of the speciality of the Humayun.
Okay.
I'm sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall this
Okay,
feature.
no problem. That was the beginning of Mughal architecture.
Yes, sir.
That big garden.
Yes, sir. Charbagh technique was for the first. Yes, sir, I could recall.
Okay. When did the Israel came into existence? It is a good friend of India. Okay, no
Sorry,
problem.
sir. Cannot.
What is the India-Canada dispute?
India-Canada dispute can be seen as Canada being alleging India for conducting an extrajudicial killing in the Canadian soil, which is somewhat Canada has been alleged regarding it, and therefore it is a dispute with respect to intervention in the sovereignty of another country.
What is your
Judicial killing. That's a very strong statement.
Sir.
You meant something else or extrajudicial?
No, sir.
Can India commit judicial killing in Canada?
No, sir. Extraterritorial killing. I meant extraterritorial killing. I'm sorry, sir.
What is your opinion about women's reservation with respect to jobs? Was it important to give them reservation in legislature or to provide them better jobs?
In order to empower and uplift a woman, an all-around holistic effort is needed. A legislative reservation would definitely impactful in better legislations, and that would be highlighted in upliftment of women, empowerment of women, and there is all the possibility that more women would come up in jobs as well.
What is the one suggestion you can make about upliftment of women?
Education. Mass education.
What is your opinion on caste surveys?
Caste is something which is very intrusive and per matter. However, this caste survey is being conducted by government for better targeted policy delivery and better outreaching of people.
Why did you choose sociology?
It is very difficult to work for the society, within the society, without understanding the society. And therefore, sociology provides me a canvas to understand the society from a more systematic and scientific way and work for it.
Sir,
How your study of history is going to help you in your civil services affairs?
It is very much important to identify the root cause of the problem. And where are the roots? It's in his story. And therefore, in this way, history would definitely help me to identify and plan things accordingly.
It is always said that history repeats itself. What does it mean?
History is often repeated. It's a very famous quote from Marx. History repeats itself, first as a tragedy and then as a farce. And history repeats itself, however, it changes its norms, its forms. For example, it may have been told that people are living in isolation. However, the coming up of malls, the flats are bringing people in flats are nothing but urban villages in a vertical form. The history is again bringing people together. So yes, history definitely repeats itself.
Which king inspires the best administrative model in the month?
Ashoka.
Ashoka.
Yes, sir.
How come?
Ashokan
What are the administrative measures taken by Ashoka?
Ashoka had followed a very centralized administration. He inspired me post Kalinga. Though post Kalinga, he had given up war and had focused upon peace. However, what was important, he maintained a standing army and even had doubled the number of people in the standing army. This is a significant and a strategic step towards as a kingdom, signifying that definitely we had given up peace. We have given up war, and adopted peace. But that doesn't prevent us from from stopping or from
preparedness.
Yes, from preparedness, and that is also important. And that is also the policy of deterrence with respect to atom bombs, which India has also adopted.
And what about this land revenue system? Land revenue system.
The Ashoka followed a very centralized land revenue system.
So you want everything to be centralized or what?
No,
Not
sir.
emphasizing centralized.
No, sir.
Then
Sir, I don't share convergence with his land revenue system.
so whose land revenue system was best in history?
The land revenue system in best in history, in my opinion, would be with respect to
Medieval.
yes, sir.
Medieval period, yes. You can identify the king.
Alauddin Khilji had one, or Akbar had one of the big. The Mansabdari system of Akbar was one of the biggest achievements of medieval history as a
What
king.
about Sher Shah Suri?
Yes, sir. Sher Shah Suri also he divided the entire land, territory into parganas, which were again divided into sarkars, and had fixed the revenues according to the production. Yes, sir.
So wasn't his administration was better than all those kings you mentioned earlier in view of this land revenue?
Yes, sir. The 4 years of Sher Shah had set a precursor for upcoming kings such as Akbar to look back and adopt the same.
What are the steps being taken by government of Bihar for the upliftment of women as such?
Right from the birth, a few of the schemes that have been running by the Bihar government is CM Kanya Utthan Yojana in order to prevent female feticides and infanticides, first of all, and promote girl child. Secondly, even for the student credit card Yojana, it's a gender neutral scheme, but however, it provides a lot of financial assistance for women to conduct their educational thing. Scholarship with respect to for clearing UPSC exams and civil. And one of the prominent features of the scholarship is it's given to unmarried girls. Therefore, that prevents the girls from getting married at an early and tender age. And CM Vivah Sahayata Yojana, where women are being given assistance of 5,000 for their marriages as well.
So we had a lot of discussion on prohibition, but still I want to ask one question. What is the difference between Gujarat model of prohibition and Bihar model of prohibition? Any idea?
No, sir, I don't have idea with respect to it.
Yes, sir.
So we'd like to close your interview now.
Thank you, sir.
We'll give you feedback.
Yes, sir.
You can ask questions.
Yes, sir.
Very good preparation,
Thank you, sir.
right? But we need to focus on certain things.
Yes, sir.
And for a ध्यान दें.
Ji, sir.
Your interview is on 17th.
Yes, sir.
So take up a speech delivery, practice that in front of a mirror.
Okay, sir.
Take any book, any magazine or anything and read it out loud.
Yes, sir.
You have to switch from a recitation mode to a conversation mode.
Yes, sir.
And वो थोड़ा practice करोगे ठीक हो जाएगा.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Thirdly, brush up on current affairs में जो question पूछेंगे हम लोगों ने G20 के बारे में थोड़ा पूछा, BRICS के बारे में, international क्या हो रहा है. You have told a lot of things.
Yes,
So
sir.
you are there, but थोड़ा fingertips में होना चाहिए. Latest क्या हो रहा है, Asian Games में क्या हो रहा है.
Yes, sir.
All those things you should know.
Yes, sir.
Right. State affairs के बारे में थोड़ा और brush up कर लो.
Yes, sir.
What is the issues in this state vis-a-vis other states?
Yes,
Okay?
sir.
And never give very strong views.
Okay, sir.
है ना? When
Yes.
you give a strong view, like that you have a certain side,
No, sir. Yes, sir.
which is not very good for a person who wants to come into civil services.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
And when a panel member is asking you a question, respond to that person. he was asking a question, you were looking at me.
Okay, sir.
And
Wish only while you
And
tell.
whenever you are recalling something, you are staring upwards.
Okay, sir.
So
I'll,
these are the nuances you will need to correct.
yes,
that's
sir.
that. For body language is okay, but then thoda brushing up will help.
Yes, sir.
ठीक.
So you were telling, yes, yes.
जब इंटर करते हो तो wish only chair,
Okay, sir.
Not
not individual.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Small tips
Yes,
will
sir.
make a difference, and I think you'll do well.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
You want any question from us?
No, sir. Sir, in case of that question, what are the 3 things that women should be empowerment? How could I make this answer more
No
credible?
personal thing.
It is
It is
personal.
what do you think pinches the state,
Yes,
the
sir.
society?
Yes, sir.
You say in my experience or
Yes.
in my knowledge, these 3 steps are important.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Nothing philosophical, most practical.
Yes,
And
sir.
practical, which
Yes,
is
sir.
doable.
You gave
Yes.
very good answer in that flood relief,
Yes, sir.
disaster management, and
Yes,
sanitary
sir.
pads, etc. These are the
That was
unique
unique
answers.
thing.
Yes, sir.
That was a
Original
unique idea.
innovation, original thoughts
Hmm.
is important.
That is appreciated by everybody.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
Keep it up and all the best.
Thank you, sir.